good chicken. Alright. Hello everyone and welcome to day 29. Congratulations on getting so far. We are going to do 20 minutes. I'm going to do 20 minutes. You're very welcome to join in. You've come this far. I recommend it. So today, stands and poses and including balance poses then. So you may need blocks, you might need a belt. You probably won't need two. And let's go then. Let's give myself the gift of sight here. And Tadasana. Big toes, heels. Get that lift and that openness. Yeah, tailbone lengthening down to tummy lifting. That's connected. This lifts, opens here. Yeah, opposite movement through the shoulder blades and down through the tips of the shoulder blades. And draw the chin back. Keep it down. So the back of the neck feels long. You might even feel a stretch there. Don't worry about the double chin. You have the advantage of doing this in the privacy of your own home. Okay, Urdhva Hastasana. And listen to your shoulders throughout, or listen to your body throughout. In this case, the shoulders. I'm feeling better around them today. There's more movement. I don't think anyone needs to go there. That's sort of hypermobile thing, and I can feel that's really closed. Keep them here. There's more we'll be doing in the 1 hour classes and in more detail to come. Okay. Utkatasana. Tadasana. Sometimes you can drop the A. I don't know why. How efficient do you want to be? Tadasana. It's okay to move around because your centre of gravity's moving, so is your control. Urdhva Hastasana. Shoulders down. Wide across here. Utkatasana. So when you're sitting down into this, bend from the hip. You're not trying to stay upright. Yeah, you're keeping whatever way your spine is now in Tadasana or in Urdhva Hastasana. You just bend here. Yeah. This stays as similar as possible. Take the weight into your heels. Okay, so you're actually bending forwards. Weight in the heels. And up. And belt to hand so that you can experience sort of tall. We're going to do tree pose, which is up here. If you need to take yourself to a wall side on with your shoulder there, or close enough you can touch your elbow, your forearm to it, or if you're really wobbly, back against the wall. Yeah. I'm going to try it here first. From Tadasana. Take the weight slightly, I'll mirror to your right, and then just peel that left leg up. Yeah. And belt around the heel and place the foot. Ideally above the knee, never across the knee. If you're there, you'll have to go lower. Yeah. Now, your hip bones point forwards, and then your leg comes to wherever it comes to. And without letting the hip bones go, you start to lengthen. Groin to inner knee, so that knee can come back. But it won't be straight, so don't expect it to be straight. The bones don't generally allow it. Tadasana in the upper body. And swap. Whoops. Skin to skin gives you better traction. Tummy lifting, tailbone down. Tighten this hip as much as you can. Collarbones wide. I don't know if you can see there, I'm kind of gripping my toes. Just try and let those go. And you're trying to diffuse your awareness throughout the whole of the pose, the whole of the action. Okay. First side. Remember, if your toes or if your standing foot sneaks out to the side, then bring both feet to the floor to fix it. And opposite side. I can really feel the work that's going on in the calf to help stabilise. So what you want to do to improve your balance, it needs to be challenging and achievable. Okay. I'd say that's where I am now. You know, I'm falling out of it at times, but actually if I work hard, concentrate, I can do it. That's good. Belt to one side. Uttanasana, so if you're working to the wall, you can do, or I'm going to use a couple of blocks because actually the hamstrings are a couple of bricks are just a little bit too tight to let me go to the floor immediately. But I want you to keep the back of your neck long. We're just looking slightly forward, so there's a curve through the whole of it. As soon as the neck movement starts to hinge just at the top, that's too far, okay? So it's the whole of the neck, the arch comes through the whole of the neck. It sort of means you need to bring your chin back, yeah? And as soon as the only movement remaining is from that top hinge, that's too much, come back. There you go, I found it. Okay, it's different for every person, it'll be different every day. Okay. And I'm trying to keep as much of that length as I can. Yeah, and you can, bend the knees to help, sort of take that down, lift the sit bones as you come back up, lengthen through the spine. Uttanasana, that's me looking too far ahead. And if you can, take a hold of the toes, or you can have the belt under the feet. Let your head drop down, exhale and bend the elbows. Bend your straight legs. The classic pose is straight legs. You learn things about your body through both. And I think it's downward dog. It's downward dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. So I think it's maybe time I gave up the Sanskrit names. I don't know what anybody else out there thinks, but let me know. And just it's probably more accessible to give them English names. Get over myself a bit. Downward dog. Bend your knees a little bit, lift your sit bones. Okay, if you need to, hold on to the edges of the mat. Okay. Lengthen out the hands, wrists all the way up to the sit bones. So bend one leg, bend the other. So the one that stays straight is in downward dog plus a bit. Yeah. And you lengthen and you heel back towards the wall behind you. Okay. Downward dog. And I have a wee tendency to over push the ribs, yeah. Come back. It's amazing, you adjust one bit and then sort of a knock-on adjustment required through the rest of the chain. Often. And rest down, pose of the child. So ideally sit bones to the heels. It's probably good practice if you can't get there to put something under, or just hang, forehead rested. Now for me, because I'm not right down, if I was to bring my hands back here, that goes straight into my neck. You see my sort of centre of gravity is too far forward, so I need to keep the hands there. And I can relax them, but I need to keep you must keep the weight out of your neck. And I must stop demonstrating how not to do things and look after my own neck. Alright. So that was pose of the child, and if you need to rest down at any point in the yoga class, that's quite acceptable to go to. Okay, and supta baddha, oh no, not supta anything. Supta always means supine. Bhujangasthasana. And again, so peel that off, the weight's here, and this is compact, tummy's lifting. Let me start that again. Find the Tadasana. Keep as much of that Tadasana as is appropriate. Take your weight onto your right, begin to lift your left. I'm going to use that to help draw the knee up. And then take a hold around the foot. And if you've sacrificed the height like I have, come stand up again. Bring the leg with you, but also let your hands slide through, or the belt slide through your hands. And then straighten the leg. So ideally it's coming up here to hold the toe, yeah? But there's some things getting in the way. So as high as you can hold it, while keeping it straight. And we'll just use that opportunity to change Tadasana. And again, you know, if I'm a little wobbly, I'm borderline. If I was, you know, even, well, I'm kind of getting away with it, but I'm a bit wobbly. Any more wobbly, I would go to have a wall this side, and I can move my arm out to it, balance me out, and then take it away again. Yeah. Tadasana. Find the Tadasana in the pose. Lengthen into that lifted heel. Kneecaps lifting. And let's switch. That was the first variation. We're going to do the second. So there's the first Bhujangasthasana one. Then take the belt into the same hand. And remember, tree pose, Vrikshasana. Okay. So the hip bones of the hips stay pointing forwards, and you move the leg out to the side. Okay. It will not go straight for nearly everybody because the hips aren't built that way. Nearly everybody. Most people. Vague, but with a bit of weight attached to it. A feel of for the numbers. You can get less scientific. Okay, and out. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. I'm definitely going to use a brick. So I think we've just passed the halfway line. So Warrior 2 is wide leg bent knee pose. And the tummy lifting. And if you need to, if this is new to you, so heel to instep. Let's have the big toe pointing forwards for a little change. And as you exhale, bend the knee. Resist back, remember that. Remember you're holding on to a rope. Yeah, chest stays forwards. Knee needs to move out, this time over the big toe. Check the back arm to see if it's, you know, that tends to feel level when you start. And try to turn my tummy on. Now, classic pose is to turn and look. I think it's too much for your neck. You know, keep that shoulder back and bring your neck to the end of its comfortable range without tilting your head or, yeah, so I'm sort of looking 15-20 degrees off. Yeah. Oh, and as you hold it, you know, does it suddenly loosen and you can just let go and drop into it? Now, if this is new to you, you can come out and come back in, and come out and come back in. So now we're going to come forwards, and remember, to keep this facing that way, you need to get that rotation going already, and lengthening here. Top hand to hip, bottom hand to wherever. And I'm going to use that for height, and then bring your hand up, rotate your palm that way, And now bring it over your head. Shoulder stays down like an Erdvahastasana arm. And I'm trying to rotate these ribs up towards the ceiling. And swing the arm down and come up. Nice long hold, opposite side. So, Virabhadrasana, Warrior 2. So I'm not letting my ego lead, I'm listening to what's going on in this hip. This hip is a bit grumbly. I'm trying to lengthen along here to help keep that knee from moving in and bring it out over the toe. If you can't keep that knee in that straight line and it's moving in, let this hip come forwards more. Sacrifice the back leg hip to get the knee in line. And then when you come into it, try and move this one that way and this one that way. So it should be a hip opening sort of. And you're constantly listening to your body to see if you need to make any small adjustments. Okay, so keeping it here, you need to feel that rotation, arm down. You've noticed throughout this knee has not gone past that ankle. That's important. And I'm using this elbow to knee to keep a knee in the right place and help the stretch, but also to help me lift the top shoulder, to help bring these bottom ribs through, up, rotate, and across. So easy just to leave the tummy passive. Just have to keep checking in with it and switch it back on. So you're going to sweep down, straighten the leg to come up. Woo. That builds a bit of heat, that's nice. Right, Virabhadrasana 1. Okay. Downhill from here. 3 minutes left. I like to use a block, we all know that. You do what you normally do. And try and get hips as square towards the short end of the mat as possible. So we're doing this a bit more classically. And oh well, in my mind it's classic. This is what I think of as the standard. It's without the back bend. So as much as that bends, that leg has to work. And it's kind of doing a little bit of that. I'm exaggerating for effect, you know, and I have to re-straighten it. Hips, ribs, shoulders, chin back, tailbone down, tummy at least switched on. And what a difference when you breathe deeply rather than those shallow, stressy breaths. Okay. And I'm trying to lift the tummy back from the thigh. Okay. We are in a second going to go into our Superman pose, which is Warrior 3. So, don't know about you guys, I've missed the standing poses while we've been doing, well, forward bends. Maybe not so much the forward bends, we did some then, and then the back bends. It wasn't really, well, we were doing, yeah, it's all about the back bend. So I'm relocating everything to face that short edge and let myself drop further into this. I'm also trying to lift this away from here. Back leg strong. And I need to think about my breathing. If you want to release your hands, straight up by the ears, we're not back bending it. I say we're not back bending it, you know, I'm not the boss of you. You do what you want. There we go. So, let me just check the frame of Okay. So I want you to set up. We're going to come into warrior 1, like that, and then we're going to come forwards over the thigh, get the weight over that standing leg, and then keeping the shoulders low, lift the back leg to try and get it in line, and then straighten the standing leg, which is, so you get your weight over we've come into warrior 1, leaning forwards, and then you hop the back leg forwards, get your weight over your standing leg, keep the shoulders low, lift the heel, try not to knock over the television, and then straighten the leg, and arms out ahead to a wall if you are lucky. Sorry. Yeah. And then, or if you wobble, you can take your hands to the floor. You know, you're trying to keep your hips from doing that. They should be more there. And foot to the floor. Come out. Warrior 1 on the opposite side. So come into your warrior 1 and then lean forwards over your front leg, hop the back leg forwards, still using the toe for ballast. Stretch out with the arms, take it to the wall if it's there for you. I'm going to take up the cat tree. Now it's really tempting when you straighten the leg, people do this, you know, straighten. So top, trunk stays low, get your heel extending, and then straighten the leg where it's kind of, I'm only moving my leg because I have my awareness throughout my body, and I'm also trying to keep that front hip, you know, pointing down towards the mat, and then come back into your, oh no, just take the foot to the floor, come out the simple way. There we go. So that's the end of the standing poses. Feel free, that's our 20 minutes, you can stop there. What you might want to do is feet together, cobbler's pose, or a supine cobbler's pose. Oh. And I'm just letting, so I'm lying on my back, on my shoulder blades, tailbones lengthened, you bend up your knees, feet to the floor, let your knees drop out to the sides, soles of your feet together. Doesn't matter where you are, just up as high as you can, but you know, you might even be down here. You know, you might not be able to let go more than that, in which case you should probably build up some support to take the overstretch out. Or if you can, just to hang there. I've got my hands just across the lower part of my ribs, and I want to feel tummy lifting on the inhalation, and the ribs kind of, hands getting further apart. And the back of the neck long, or a little raise if your chin's sticking up, you know, a book underneath it. You can pick the size of it, but just to get that chin in, down. Sorry, keep the hands there. Okay, just normal breathing. You know, and then if you want, after a couple more minutes maybe, bring the knees together and you can go in, whoops, not quite fit in the space, to Shavasana. You know, it's like a lying down Tadasana to start, mountain pose, and it's active, and then you just let it go and you let your legs roll out to the sides. Yeah, and you let your feet soften into it, get heavier on the floor. Taking up that support from the floor. And if you want to switch over, there's just Shavasana on one of the main pages, and that will take you through a 10-minute relaxation. I'm just going to stay here and say thank you all for day 29, my goodness. The last three of 20 minutes apiece. So join us back tomorrow, where it will be standing closes and forward bends. All right. Peace out, everybody. I'm just going to continue on for another 5 or 10 minutes in Shavasana.